They're off in this BetVictor handicap chase. 3 miles ahead of them. They race around to the first of the 18 fences. Night in Milan, runner-up in this race 12 months ago. The pink cap showing up in front. Bollia Henry in a striped jacket. And then Bears Affair tracking the leading pair with Mart Lane closest to the running rail. Harry the Viking under Ryan Marn, Red Silk settling midfield to Lost Glory wide. Carrick-Morna King in the purple and green at the Shadow 2 de Boitron in rear. So going to the first, Night in Milan, rising just ahead, takes it fluently. Mart Lane had a bit of a coming together with Harry the Viking, and Lost Glory a bit untidy in rear, knocks him back to last place. And fence 2 is the first of the ditches. Night in Milan from Bollia Henry, the leading pair jumping soundly. And again Lost Glory, a little awkward, a little slow at the back of the field. But a long way still to travel. Night in Milan from Bollia Henry, approaching the third. Bears Affair wide of Harry the Viking. And then Mart Lane rather ballooning it from de Boitron in the red and white. Carrick-Morna King is next, and Lost Glory not having a cut at the early fences, 2 or 3 lengths adrift. Taking the turn into the straight at the end of half a mile or so. And Night in Milan. And James Reveley from Bollia Henry, Harry Skelton the green cap. Again the first 2 on landing. From Mart Lane, Harry the Viking, Bears Affair on the left. Then de Boitron, Carrick-Morna King, purple cap patiently ridden, and Lost Glory in rear. On to the next in this line of 4 up the Doncaster home straight. Bollia Henry joining Night in Milan there. From Bears Affair, Harry the Viking and Mart Lane abreast across the track in behind. Carrick-Morna King and de Boitron follow, and finally Lost Glory. Here's the 6th. Good leap from Night in Milan. Really attacked it, jumped it with elan, carried him a couple of lengths clear. From Bollia Henry. And then Bears Affair on the near side. Harry the Viking in the centre. Mart Lane the rail. Another good leap from Night in Milan. Really delivered there. Carrick-Morna King in the last group of 3, a bit low. Races upsized de Boitron. Lost Glory still 2 lengths adrift. So in gathering gloom, they pass before the judge and embark upon one further circuit of Turnmore. Running this left-hander, Night in Milan from Bollia Henry. Mart Lane disputing third with Bears Affair. Then Harry the Viking, Carrick-Morna King and de Boitron, and finally Lost Glory. Moving on towards the water, just about at a point adjacent with the Ledger start on the flat track. So moving a bit closer towards halfway. Night in Milan from Bollia Henry. Bears Affair quick through the air, not so Lost Glory. Cost him further ground and momentum at the back of the field. Move on sharply to the 9th. Night in Milan from Bollia Henry, Bears Affair. Then Harry the Viking, the red jacket, with Mart Lane. Carrick-Morna King out wide from de Boitron, the gap widening to Lost Glory. Another ditch. Night in Milan, a blunder there from Carrick-Morna King. He scattered the birch. But Night in Milan has been jumping boldly on the sharp end, matched by Bollia Henry. Just beginning to up the ante a little. Going to meet rising ground now, heading to fence 11. So Night in Milan, so narrowly denied in this corresponding race 12 months ago. Beginning to go one better here. Still got Bollia Henry for company. They're just beginning to string them out in behind. Night in Milan and Bollia Henry together, 4 or 5 lengths ahead of Mart Lane. Then Bears Affair, de Boitron, the red and white, creeping a bit closer. Harry the Viking being squeezed along by Ryan Marn, just to keep in tabs with those up ahead. Then Carrick-Morna King, that blunder cost him some ground. He's being driven along, and Lost Glory is rather lost out on the far side, some way adrift. Racing around towards the last mile now. Still at 7 fences to jump. Night in Milan and Bollia Henry have been pushing the pace along from the outset. Mart Lane chasing with Bears Affair, then de Boitron, and another good jump from Night in Milan, a length up on landing from Bollia Henry. Now Bass crouching lower on Bears Affair alongside Mart Lane. De Boitron still sneaking into it under Ryan Mania. Here's the last ditch. Night in Milan quickly through the air, just half length in Bollia Henry. Mart Lane 3 lengths away. De Boitron up the inner, yet to be popped the question, nursed into it by Grand National winning jockey Ryan Mania. David Bass still working hard on Bears Affair, clear of Harry the Viking and Carrick-Morna King, and Night in Milan was sharply over the 5th from home. Still can't see off the attentions of Bollier Henry just yet. De Boitron and Mark Lane close enough to land blows as they round the final turn with a half-mile to travel and 4 to jump up the straight. Night in Milan from Bollier Henry, stalked by De Boitron. Another good jump from Night in Milan. Forced an error from Bollier Henry. Now De Boitron moves off in pursuit of this leader. Mark Lane under pressure. Carrick-Morna King beginning to rally a little under pressure. Purple Cap keeping on. Night in Milan from De Boitron though at the third last, and again Night in Milan was quick through the air. De Boitron scattered the birch. They're breaking loose from Bollier Henry, Mark Lane and Carrick-Morna King. De Boitron ranging up to have a crack at Night in Milan. Here's the penultimate fence. Night in Milan and De Boitron together, and there it was De Boitron who was just a little bit slicker through the air. Noses into a narrow lead, but Night in Milan is game. Fights back tenaciously on the nigh side. Here's the final fence looming large. Could be all on the jumping. Night in Milan and De Boitron as one. Off up the running they come. Night in Milan finding a bit extra. Shrugs aside the challenge of De Boitron and begins to grind his way towards the line. What a fine display of jumping this has been from Night in Milan. Second in the race 12 months ago. He's jumped them silly this time around and wins well. Night in Milan from De Boitron, Mark Lane, Bollier Henry, and then Carrick-Morna King, Bears Affair and Harry the Viking.